Four blokes on bikes checking in. Another training ride. It's Tuesday night after work. Got home quite late, but it's still light outside and the weather's good. So I've jumped on the bike. Just gonna see how many miles I can get in before it gets dark on the mountain bike today. So we're gonna do some sort of trails, but just natural trails really. So I cycled up from home down this way, up a big hill right down there. I'm gonna cycle around this way a little bit and loop back around the reservoir here, and then back over to this road here, and then loop up and around the forest there, and then come back down, back home. It's probably about 50-50 on-road and off-road, but the off-road bits are really nice, like the steady gradient down, not too technical, nice for a bit of after work. Been gym last night and a bit achy and everything else like that, but just keeping moving with a bit of a training ride really. So yeah, travelling light, just a water bottle with us, no pumps or anything like that, so hopefully no punches again, but you never know. Just taking it steady really. Like we say, proper job, keep training, keep going at it. See in a bit. Now then, I'm going to see if I can record a bit of footage coming down here, because this is one of my favourite places to come and walk with the dog and cycle and just generally be. You've got Home Moss just coming up to the right hand side up there, and all up above there over the top is just moorland really, and yeah, there's plenty of places to go exploring around here. But this area like that I'm just going to cycle down now is really a place where I'll come walking, I'll come running, I'll come cycling. So I mean, I just feel really lucky to have this on my doorstep mainly, but yeah, I thought I'd try and see if I can hold my phone in my hand and show you a little bit of what it's like. Now obviously it's going a lot slower because I've got one hand on the handlebar than usual, but with me going a bit slower, hopefully you get to see a little bit more of it. A bit more about why I like it. We're actually on what's known in the UK, at least, as a green lane, which is effectively, for what the rest of the world would call it, a dirt road. There's some interesting kind of facts and laws around green lanes here in the UK, and there's lots of people who like to use them for recreational purposes. It's going uphill a little bit. Yeah, so the green lanes in the UK, you've obviously got people like myself cycling, running, walking down them, but as well you have horse riders using these spaces, and even motocross bikes and 4x4s and off-roaders. You often see up this one as well, the odd camper van and that kind of thing, but essentially I guess they're kind of old roads, right? And I mean, I'm not going to confess to know too much about the history of green lanes and every detail about them in the UK, but what I can tell you is that they're a great community space, public amenity, and a piece of the history as well of different areas. You tend to find they're very strongly linked to old byways connecting different places in the more remote parts of the UK and England especially. Lots of use for agriculture and this kind of thing, which nowadays it's a bit of a point of contention, in so much as you've got a bit of a, I guess, a culture clash between the traditional kind of users of these spaces, agriculture and wildlife and countryside driven activities, but in addition to that, nowadays you've got all kinds of recreational users, which there would have been in the past, but the usage has probably increased incredibly nowadays. And then with that obviously comes a bit of abuse of the lanes. There you go, as I was saying, lots of different users of these spaces. A couple of lads on their motorbikes having a bloody good time, by all accounts. Anyway, as I was saying, before it got a little bit rugged, green lanes in the UK, because of the different types of users that are using these spaces now, and often coming in from different places, not necessarily, there you go, some camper van, not necessarily from the local area where the green lanes are, causes a little bit of a kind of conflict with the people who live nearby, the people who look after or maintain, or whatever you want to call it, kind of the guardians, I suppose they might say, of the countryside in certain areas. So yeah, they want to see these places maintained. Really cracking. Let me have a wait. Yeah, boy. Absolutely cracking. And there's one part of the green lanes around where I live, just up here, which is a cracking descent, by the way. It's called Ramsden Road, and there's been lots and lots of debate about that particular section of the green lane, because it's very old, but it's also quite a steep hill, so it's subject to erosion in general because of rain. And you got the recreational users coming up and using that space as is everybody's right to come and do, because these are they're not privately owned roads or anything like that. But you've probably got a small minority that kind of abuses those spaces and causes excessive erosion, and some of them are going, let's say, off piste, and it's quite a kind of hot topic for certain parts of the UK. Anyway, as you can see, there's lots of people. Even this is a Tuesday evening, we're about 8:30. Still lots of people knocking about using these spaces, and generally getting a lot of pleasure out of them. So anyway, I have no idea if you heard any of this, because it's obviously quite windy. But some useless information or useful information if you're interested in that kind of thing.